Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a truly fascinating book. And let's be honest, it's pretty audacious.
Audacious is a good word for it, yeah.
It makes this really bold claim. Getting rich isn't luck or circumstance, it's an exact science. And if you follow its principles, failure is impossible. Impossible.
That's the hook, right?
Yeah.
The impossibility of failure if you do it the certain way.
Exactly. We're diving into W.D. Waddell's The Science of Getting Rich. It's over a century old, but still influencing people, offers a wildly different perspective on wealth creation than, what most of us are used to.
Absolutely. It's not your standard financial advice.
Definitely not. This isn't your typical financial planning guide or like an investment strategy playbook.
No. Waddles
Yeah.
himself calls it pragmatical, not philosophical.
Right. A practical manual, not a treatise upon theories. He's
Sure.
very clear. It's for people who need money first.
So I want to philosophize afterward.
Yeah. So our mission today is to unpack these conclusions of science, as he puts it, and really try to understand the certain way he insists leads to inevitable riches. So if you're looking for a shortcut to being well-informed about a truly unique, maybe even controversial approach to abundance, you are absolutely in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with Waddell's incredibly direct stance. It might just challenge, everything you thought you knew about wealth.
It probably will for some.
He's not shy, is he? His primary argument, it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich.
Whoa.
Full stop.
It's blunt.
And he goes further. No man ought to be satisfied with a little if he's capable of using and enjoying more. And then here's the real kicker. He declares that to be content with less is sinful. Now that's a statement.
It absolutely is. And, it's fundamentally countercultural for many, but it's important to understand why he says that. Waddles isn't really promoting greed here, not in the way we usually think of it. His point is that for a person to fully develop in mind, soul, and body, they need to make use of things, material things, experiences, opportunities.
Right, things cost money.
Exactly. And in our society, acquiring those things requires money. So for him, the basis of all advancement for man must be the science of getting rich.
So it's not just about having stuff, it's about enabling growth.
Precisely. He frames it as a right. Man's right to life means his right to have the free and unrestricted use of all the things which may be necessary to his fullest mental, spiritual, and physical unfoldment.
Or, in other words, his right to be rich.
Yeah.
Wow.
It connects personal development directly to financial means.
That's a powerful reframing. He details this, explaining how we live for the body, mind, and soul. And none can live fully if the others are cut short. Like he says, man cannot live fully in body without good food, comfortable clothing, and warm shelter. Basic needs. He cannot live fully in mind without books and time to study them, without opportunity for travel and observation, mental stimulation. Right. To live fully in soul, man must have love, and love is denied expression by poverty. It's this whole picture. Money isn't just luxury, it enables a full existence.
It's about removing limitations on potential, in his view. And this leads him to that really bold assertion.
The exact science part.
Yeah, the getting rich is an exact science, like algebra or arithmetic. He claims there are specific laws governing the process.
Laws. Like laws of physics.
Or sort of.
Yeah.
He believes anyone who learns and obeys these laws will get rich with mathematical certainty.
Mathematical certainty, okay.
And what's fascinating here is what he says doesn't determine wealth.
Right, this part's interesting.
It's not about your environment, your inherent talent, or even how much you save.
Which goes against a lot of conventional wisdom.
Totally. He points out many people who have great talent remain poor, while others who have very little talent get rich.
We've all seen examples of that, I guess.
And many very penurious people, meaning super thrifty people, are poor, while free spenders often get rich.
So it's not about hoarding money either.
No. This all points, for him, to something much more fundamental, something universal.
So if it's not where you start, or what you're naturally good at, or even being super thrifty, what is this mysterious factor?
Well, Waddles concludes, quite simply, that getting rich is the result of doing things in a certain way.
A certain way. Okay, that's the key phrase.
That's the core of it.
Yeah.
And this certain way, he reassures us, isn't so difficult that only, geniuses or special people can follow it.
So it's accessible.
He believes any man or woman who has sense enough to read and understand these words can certainly get rich.
Okay, now here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a bit out there for some.
It definitely takes a turn into the metaphysical, yeah.
We've got the bold premise, the idea of this certain way, but what's it built on? What's the foundation?
Right. Wattles dives into this philosophical framework. He calls it the monistic theory of the universe.
Monistic, meaning one.
Exactly. He notes it has roots in Hindu thought
Yeah.
and has been gradually winning its way into the thought of the Western world for 200 years. It underpins everything in the book.
So what's the theory, basically?
Essentially, it posits that one is all and that all is one,
Okay.
meaning there's a single original substance, one stuff, and everything we see and experience in the material world is just a manifestation of this one substance.
Like different forms of the same thing.
Precisely. He calls this the formless substance, or maybe more evocatively, thinking stuff.
Thinking stuff, I like that.
And crucially, he states there's no limit to the supply of it.
No limit, infinite.
Infinite. Imagine the entire universe, not as empty space, but as filled with this boundless, intelligent, raw material.
Okay, wow. So if this formless thinking stuff is limitless and everywhere, it permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe, as he says.
Yes.
Does that mean the whole idea of limited opportunity, the pie being only so big, is just wrong?
That's exactly his point. He directly challenges that scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
He argues, no man is kept poor because opportunity has been taken away from him, because other people have monopolized the wealth. He thinks that's a fundamental misunderstanding.
There's examples, right?
Vivid ones, like suggesting a palace as large as the Capitol at Washington might be built for every family on Earth from the building material in the United States alone.
That's a lot of palaces.
Or that nature provides wool, cotton, linen, and silk enough to clothe each person in the world finer than Solomon was arrayed. His point is abundance. He sees the universe as an inexhaustible storehouse of riches.
Which, okay, leads to the obvious question. If there's such abundance, this infinite thinking stuff everywhere, why isn't everyone rich? Why is there poverty?
Right. That's the critical link.
Yeah.
And Wattles' answer connects directly back to this thinking stuff.
Which is?
He asserts that thought is the only power which can produce tangible riches from the formless substance.
Thought. Our thinking.
Yes. Your thoughts are the creative force. He breaks this down into three sort of fundamental propositions.
Okay, what are they?
First, there is one original formless stuff or substance from which all things are made.
Yeah.
The thinking stuff we just talked about.
Got it. One substance.
Second, this stuff is thinking stuff. A thought held in it produces the form of the thought.
Whoa, okay, so the substance itself responds to thought.
Yes.
Yeah.
And third, man can communicate his thought to original thinking substance. He can cause the creation or formation of the thing he thinks about.
So we can impress our thoughts onto this stuff and it makes the thing.
That's the core mechanism he proposes. What's truly revolutionary here is the idea that your mind, is a thinking center.
A thinking center.
And your thoughts, when you hold them clearly and impress them upon this formless substance, literally cause it to take the form of that thought.
So the substance shapes itself based on my thinking.
Wattles claims thinking substance takes the form of its thought and moves according to the thought. He believes that by mastering this ability, one becomes a mastermind who can conquer fate. He can have what he wants.
Conquer fate, heavy stuff.
It is. So getting rich in this model isn't about competing for existing resources or finding money that's already out there. It's about causing its creation through focused, specific thought, because, as he says, every thought held in this substance becomes a form.
It's almost like the universe is a giant, responsive 3D printer for your intentions.
That's a pretty good modern analogy, actually, yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty wild concept. So if our thoughts are essentially the blueprints and they impress this thinking stuff to create wealth, how do we do that? How do we effectively think in this certain way?
Right, because it's not just any random thought. Wattles gives very specific instructions, and it starts with reframing how you even view your desire for wealth.
Reframing desire, how?
He argues, controversially again perhaps, that it is the desire of God that you should get rich.
God wants me to be rich. That sounds convenient.
Well, his reasoning is specific. He wants you to get rich because he can express himself better through you if you have plenty of things to use in giving him expression.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
It shifts the desire for riches from being purely selfish.
Which society often tells us it is.
Exactly. To being in alignment with a universal impulse. He calls it the impulse for increase of life. The universe itself wants to expand and express more fully.
So my desire for more is part of that larger universal desire.
That's his argument. He uses an analogy of a child learning piano. The urge to create music isn't just the child's, it's the urge of original substance, all potential music, seeking expression through the child.
So our desires are the infinite seeking expression in us.
That's the idea. And seeing it this way for Wattles is key to removing any guilt or shame around wanting wealth. You're participating in universal creation.
That's definitely a profound shift in perspective, moving away from scarcity or guilt. Okay. So to align with this universal flow, this creative impulse, what's next?
Gratitude. He really emphasizes gratitude. He basically summarizes the entire process of mental adjustment needed into that one word.
That's gratitude. How does that work?
He explains that gratitude unifies the mind of man with the intelligence of substance, so that man's thoughts are received by the formless.
So gratitude opens the communication channel.
Sort of, yeah. A grateful outreaching of your mind isn't just a passive feeling. He sees it as an active expenditure of force.
Force.
Yeah, a force that cannot fail to reach that to which it is addressed, and the reaction is an instantaneous movement towards you. Gratitude attracts.
And the opposite is true. Lack of gratitude repels.
He cautions that without gratitude, you cannot long keep from dissatisfied thought regarding things as they are, and dwelling on lack, on the negative.
Manifests more lack.
Exactly. Gratitude, for Wattles, is the essential key to maintaining harmony with this creative energy and preventing what he calls competitive thought, seeing the world as zero-sum.
Okay, gratitude is crucial. What else? You mentioned specific thoughts earlier.
Yes. Beyond gratitude, Wattles stresses the absolute necessity of having a clear and definite mental picture of what you want.
A mental picture, like visualization.
It's more intense than casual visualization. He's not talking about vague wishes. He says you shouldn't send out unformed longings and vague desires. No fuzzy goals.
So be specific.
Very specific. He says, go over your desires, just as the man I've described went over his house, see just what you want, and get a clear mental picture of it. It's like creating a detailed mental blueprint.
Okay.
And this is critical. This mental picture isn't just a daydream. It requires unwavering faith that the thing is already yours.
Faith that it's already mine,
Yep.
even if I can't see it yet.
Exactly. He encourages you to live in the new house mentally until it takes form around you physically.
Live in it mentally.
It's not just seeing it. It's a profound sense of mental ownership and reception of what you desire now, even before it physically appears. He quotes, "Believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Faith connects the future desire with present mental possession.
Okay, that takes discipline, belief.
Immense belief. And that leads to the role of the will.
Ah, yes, willpower. So this is about forcing things to happen, pushing hard.
No. That's a crucial distinction, and where many might misunderstand, Wattles is very clear. You do not try to apply your willpower to anything outside of yourself.
Not on other people, not on circumstances.
No. He says you have no right to do so anyway. It is wrong to apply your will to other men and women in order to get them to do what you wish done. No mental manipulation.
So where do you use your will?
Your will is to be used only upon yourself.
Upon myself. How?
To compel yourself to think and do the right things. It's about controlling your own focus, your own thoughts, your own actions according to this certain way.
So it's internal discipline, not external force.
Precisely. And this is where Wattles takes that sharp turn, particularly with his, let's say, provocative advice on charity.
Right. I remember reading that part. It's jarring.
It is. He says, flat out, do not spend your time in charitable work or charity movements. All charity only tends to perpetuate the wretchedness it aims to eradicate.
Oof. That's hard to hear for a lot of people, including me.
Understandably, his instruction, if you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich. Prove it by getting rich yourself.
That's an incredibly challenging, maybe even uncomfortable statement for many listeners, especially those who prioritize helping others directly.
Absolutely. It feels almost callous on the surface.
So how does Wattles arrive at such a conclusion? What's the underlying logic here that might be missed on a first, maybe reactive read?
Well, it's certainly one of his most controversial points. But for Wattles, it all stems back to operating from a creative mindset, not a competitive one.
Creative versus competitive. Explain that.
He believes that focusing on and thinking about poverty, even with the best intentions, like in charity work, keeps the mental image of poverty dominant. And since thought creates,
You inadvertently perpetuate what you're trying to fix.
that's his controversial argument. He insists you must use your willpower to keep your mind off the subject of poverty and to keep it fixed with faith and purpose on the vision of what you want. Abundance, growth, creation.
Focus only on the desired outcome.
Yes. He's adamant that every man who gets rich by creation, by following this certain way, opens a way for thousands to follow him and inspires them to do so. He creates more, not just for himself, but expands the pie.
So creative wealth benefits everyone, whereas competitive wealth.
He contrasts this with what he calls men of the plutocratic type, those who gain wealth through exploitation, competition, zero-sum games. He says they have never been really rich, often leading miserable lives because they operate from lack and competition, not creation.
So for Waddles, true wealth creation has to be creative and expansive.
Yes, operating on what he connects to the golden rule principle. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. The creative mind doesn't see limitation, so it doesn't need to take from others.
Okay, that provides context, even if the conclusion about charity remains very difficult.
It does. It requires accepting his entire metaphysical framework about thought and creation to fully land.
All right, so we've got the philosophy, the thinking stuff. We have the clear vision, unwavering faith, gratitude, and using will only on ourselves. But Waddles also stresses that we must live and act in a certain way.
Yes, this is absolutely critical.
So this isn't just about positive thinking or mental gymnastics, right? It's not just sitting on the couch visualizing.
Critically, no. He explicitly warns against relying on thought alone, paying no attention to personal action. That's a major failure point.
Okay.
He states, man must not only think, but his personal action must supplement his thought.
Thought and action together.
Yes, thought brings what you want to you. It aligns the forces, but by action, you receive it.
Action is reception.
That's a good way to put it. He calls this the crucial point, where thought and personal action must be combined. You can use thought to cause gold to be impelled toward you, he explained.
Yeah.
But it will not mine itself, refine itself, coin itself, and come rolling along the roads, seeking its way into your pocket.
Right. You have to actually, do something, pick it up, interact with the world.
Exactly. You have to physically engage.
And the action, it needs to happen now, doesn't it? No waiting for the perfect circumstances.
Precisely. He's very insistent on this. Whatever your action is to be, it is evident that you must act and now.
Why now?
Because there is never any time but now, and there never will be any time but now. The past is gone, the future isn't here. Creation happens in the present moment through present action.
And act where you are, right? With what you have.
Yes. He stresses the importance of doing all that you can do where you are. Don't wait for a better job or different circumstances to start acting in a certain way.
How does he frame that?
He says you can advance only by being larger than your present place, and no man is larger than his present place who leaves undone any of the work pertaining to that place.
Meaning excel right where you are now fully.
Yes. Master your current domain first. That's how you grow beyond it. It's about maximizing your current sphere of influence and action.
So it's not just about doing more work then, like burning yourself out.
No, definitely not. It's about the quality and intention of the work.
Ah, okay. Efficiency.
Spot on. He qualifies that you're not to overwork nor to rush blindly. Instead, it's about the efficiency of each separate action.
Efficiency of each action. How do you achieve that?
Every single act, big or small, must be a success in itself. And you make it so by holding your vision while you are doing it and putting the whole power of your faith and purpose into it.
So you bring the mental component, the vision, faith, purpose, into the physical action itself.
Exactly. This is where, he says, many fail. They separate their mental power, the visioning, affirming, from their physical actions, the day-to-day work. You need to infuse every action with that creative intent.
Be fully present and purposeful in every single thing you do. Got it.
Right. And this leads to another crucial element that should infuse all your actions and interactions. Creating an impression of increase.
Impression of increase. What does that mean practically? How does that work, especially if you're, say, an employee not running a business?
It's a core principle, applicable everywhere. Waddles believes that increase is what all men and all women are seeking.
Increase of life, like we discussed earlier.
Yes. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them, seeking fuller expression. Everyone instinctively wants more life, more good, more growth.
Okay.
Yeah. Therefore, in every transaction, every interaction, you must give every man more in use value than you take from him in cash value.
More use value than cash value. Explain that, like the book example.
Exactly like the book example he gives. The physical paper and ink might not be worth the price you paid. But if the ideas in that book bring you thousands of dollars or transform your life,
You haven't been wronged. You got immense use value.
precisely, they have given you a great use value for a small cash value. You need to ensure you are always providing that greater use value in everything you do.
Okay, so how does that apply outside of selling a product, like for that healthcare worker example or an artist?
Right. For a healthcare worker, it's about going beyond the minimum, providing such exceptional care, attention, insight, maybe even just reassurance, that the patient feels they've received something far more valuable than just a standard consultation. They feel genuinely helped, increased.
So it's about the quality and impact of the service.
Yes. For an artist, it's creating work that deeply enriches the viewer's life, offers new perspectives, sparks joy, or moves them profoundly, something that transcends the mere price tag of the artwork. It adds life.
It's about ensuring you're always adding to the life of the world by every business transaction or interaction.
That's the principle. Always leave people feeling like they got more than they gave in monetary terms because you provided significant use value.
And this applies to everyone, regardless of profession or employment status, employee, freelancer, CEO.
Absolutely. Whether you're a physician, a teacher, a clergyman, a wage earner, the core idea is the same. Give increase of life to others and make them sensible of the fact. Make them feel that increase.
So for wage earners specifically, how do they do that within a job?
He advises putting the power of success and the purpose to get rich into everything that you do. Do every task, even mundane ones, with excellence and that intention of increase.
But not just to impress the boss, right?
No, not primarily. He says do it for your own self-advancement by embodying this principle, by becoming an advancing man or advancing woman who always delivers more value.
Opportunities will naturally come to you.
That's the idea. You become a center of increase, and the universe, according to Waddles, will move opportunities towards you because you're aligned with its nature.
Okay, this whole system. Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like it requires immense, unwavering focus and discipline, like 24/7 almost.
It really does. It's not a casual practice.
So what are some of the biggest pitfalls? The cautions Waddles offers for people trying to live in this certain way, it feels like it would be incredibly easy to slip up.
You're right, and he anticipates that. It demands strict adherence, constant vigilance over your thoughts and actions. He's very prescriptive about potential dangers.
Like what?
Firstly, guard your speech. This is huge for him.
Guard speech. How?
Never speak of yourself, your affairs, or of anything else in a discouraged or discouraging way. No complaining, no negativity about your situation.
Even about external things, like the economy.
Yes. He extends this to not discussing hard times or doubtful business conditions.
Why not? Isn't that just being realistic sometimes?
For Waddles, no. Because those negative thoughts and words, when spoken or dwelled upon, will literally check the movement of things in your direction. You're putting resistance into the system.
You're impressing the wrong thoughts on the thinking stuff.
Exactly. You must train yourself to think of and to look upon the world as something which is becoming, which is growing. Focus entirely on potential and growth. Keep your mental atmosphere clear of doubt and fear.
So basically, zero negativity allowed. And don't get sidetracked by anything that could cloud that clear vision we talked about. That's quite the mental diet.
It is a very strict mental diet. He also strongly advises against reading pessimistic or conflicting literature.
Conflicting literature? Like what? Other self-help books, philosophy.
Anything that might introduce doubt or challenge the core principles he's laying out. He advises against getting into arguments about it or even dabbling in related but different fields like, say, occult studies that might confuse the method.
He wants complete focus on his system.
Total immersion. He literally tells readers to lay all others aside, put them out of your mind altogether. Read this book every day, keep it with you, commit it to memory.
Wow. Commit it to memory.
The goal is to avoid anything that might shake his purpose, dim his vision, or quench his faith. Absolute single-mindedness.
That's intense. What about setbacks? What if things don't seem to work right away?
He addresses that too. He even notes that if a seeming failure occurs, it's often because you have not asked for enough. The universe had something bigger planned.
Right.
He says a larger thing than you were seeking will certainly come to you if you hold the faith.
So even failure is just a sign to think bigger.
In his system, yes.
Yeah.
It demonstrates the unwavering, almost deterministic nature of the science he proposes. If you do it right, it must work. If it seems not to, you're either doing it wrong or underestimating the outcome.
Okay. We've covered a lot today. It's quite a journey. From that radical idea that getting rich is your right, an exact science,
But a certain way.
to the really deep dive into Waddle's monistic philosophy, the formless substance, the thinking stuff.
The idea that thought creates form.
Right. And then into the very specific actions required for being a mastermind, the active faith, the persistent gratitude, that clear mental picture.
And the efficient, purpose-driven action that gives more value than it takes.
Exactly. It's clearly far from a passive process. It demands, well, everything, your thoughts, your faith, your actions, your focus.
It's a complete system for living, aimed at wealth creation as a means to fuller life expression.
So for you, the listener, maybe the biggest takeaway isn't just about, accumulating wealth in the dollars and cents way.
Perhaps not. It's maybe more about understanding that, according to Waddles at least, your personal desire for more life, more experiences, more growth, more expression isn't just selfish.
It's an echo of the universe's own fundamental impulse for expansion.
That's his perspective. It really encourages you to ask, what does that mean for how you view your own ambitions? Not just for yourself, but maybe for the world around you, if you're creating increase.
And maybe ask, are you willing to truly challenge your existing beliefs about how wealth is created? Could you actually embrace this certain way, even the parts that feel really uncomfortable or counterintuitive?
Like the charity part or the absolute focus required.
Yeah, it's a lot to consider. What a thought to chew on. Is your desire for more just your own, or could it be part of something much larger seeking expression through you?
A big question to leave people with.
Definitely. We hope this deep dive into the science of getting rich has given you plenty to reflect on, and perhaps inspired you to look at your own path to abundance, whatever that means for you, in a whole new, certain way.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.